You tie Bear Bryant for most in the poll era. Take a second and hear that. What does that mean to you?
You know, right now, I'm just happy for all these folks here. I'm happy for all these folks. I'm happy for our players. I don't care anything about that, to be honest with you. This was a great win for our players, and I've never been happier in my life.
Never.
Never.
How did Nick Saban go from working at his father's gas station in rural West Virginia to being regarded by ESPN as the greatest college football coach of all time? In this video, I am going to dive into Nick Saban's life and his coaching career, so stick around. Nicolaus Lou Saban Jr. was born on October 31st, 1951 in Fairmont, West Virginia, to Mary and Nick Saban Sr. Nick Sr. ran a Gulf service station in Monongah, a small town in which Nick grew up. Saban has always had a great respect for his father and has stated that he wouldn't be the person he is nor have the success he's enjoyed without the experience of his dad in his life.
You know, maybe we need more of this. You know, when I was growing up, I worked for my dad. All right, so every day at dinner, he would do that to the table. And there was a reckoning for everything that you were supposed to do that day. So if you were supposed to cut the grass, did you sweep the walk? Did you trim? Did you put the mower away? Did you clean the mower? And if you didn't do any of those things right, you're going to do it again. We might need a little of that somewhere along the line.
Saban Sr. coached Nick's Pop Warner team when he was young, and even purchased a bus to pick up his players for practice. His father taught him to never think that he was superior to anyone else, and to treat everyone with respect. Saban played quarterback in high school, and led his team to a West Virginia state championship in 1968. Despite being given the opportunity to play professional baseball out of high school, he decided to follow his father's wishes and pursue higher education. He attended Kent State University in Ohio, where he played defensive back. He unintentionally avoided the Kent State massacre when he and his roommate decided to eat lunch before going to the Raleigh area. In 1971, Nick Saban married his wife, Terry Constable, commonly referred to as Miss Terry. He graduated from Kent State with a bachelor's degree in business in 1973. He had planned on becoming a car salesman, but changed his mind when he was offered a job as a graduate assistant under Don James, where he worked until he and his wife graduated in 1975. He finished grad school with a master's degree in sports administration. In his first year at graduate school, his father sadly passed away from a sudden heart attack. This event greatly affected him, but he used his father's passing to motivate him. In a letter to his late father, Nick said, "Dad, the last time we spoke, I promised I would always strive to be the best. I am honoring that commitment to you every day." He went on to be an assistant coach at several schools and expected to be considered for the newly vacant head coach position at Kent State in 1987, but he was passed over for the position for Dick Crum. After this, he was hired as a defensive back coach for the Houston Oilers, now known as the Tennessee Titans. He worked with them for 2 seasons before returning to the NCAA to be the head coach for the Toledo Rockets. This was his first head coaching job, and he did not disappoint. In his first season, he improved the team's record from 6-5 in the previous season to 9-2. The 2 games they lost were decided by 4 or less points. After only 1 season at Toledo, Saban resigned to accept an offer coaching under Bill Belichick. Saban became the defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns. He worked under Belichick for 4 years, and later went on to jokingly say that these were the worst 4 years of his life. After his tenure working for the Browns, he once again returned to college football, this time to be a head coach for the Michigan State Spartans. During his 4 years at Michigan State, Saban led them to their best record since 1965 and upset the #1 team in the country, Ohio State. He then moved on to LSU, where he would coach for 5 years. While at LSU, he won 2 SEC championships and his first national championship. It was safe to say that LSU fans loved him and were very upset when he decided to move on from college football to pursue an NFL head coaching position with the Miami Dolphins. Saban had limited success in the NFL, going 15-17 in his 2 years with the Dolphins. At the beginning of the second season, he set his eyes on recently cut young quarterback Drew Brees, but the team front office decided that Dante Culpepper would be a better option to lead the team. Culpepper never fully recovered from the knee injury he suffered in the previous season, and Nick Saban later said that management's refusal to sign Brees was his breaking point. After the University of Alabama fired Mike Shula in 2006, there were rumors that Saban could be a potential candidate for the job. He refused to comment on these matters during the season, but after constant questioning, he said this.
I have to say it. I'm not going to be the Alabama coach. What? I shouldn't even have to comment on this. I think I've said this over and over and over again.
Just 13 days after this statement, Saban signed a contract with Alabama, becoming one of the highest-paid head coaches in football history. In his first season at Alabama in 2007, Alabama had a 7-6 record and won the Independence Bowl. This was the start of the Saban era. From this point forward, Alabama reigned supreme over every team in college football, dominating the competition. At Alabama, Saban won 6 national championships, 3 in the BCS era and 3 more in the college football playoff era. Take a look at these statistics that show how great Nick Saban has truly been as a head coach. He ranks first in national championships won with 7. He led LSU and Alabama to a combined 9 SEC championships. He has coached 10 first or second-ranked defenses, according to ESPN, and all but one of his Alabama defenses have been in the top 10 in the NCAA. He has produced more great coaches than anyone in history, having hired Kirby Smart, Lane Kiffin, Mark D'Antonio, Billy Napier, Dan Lanning, Brian Daboll, and a number of other college football and NFL coaches. Not only has he produced great coaches, but he has coached 44 first-round NFL draft picks. This is more than any coach in college football history. Since he started at Alabama, the university's enrollment has jumped from 25,000 to 40,000 students a year, nearly doubling. Alabama Chancellor Robert Witt once told 60 Minutes that Nick Saban was the best investment the university ever made. Nick Saban announced that he would be retiring on Wednesday, January 10, 2024. He stated that the 2023 season took a toll on him and he didn't want to hold the team back. He is widely regarded as the greatest to ever coach college football. As an Alabama resident myself and lifelong Tide fan, all I can say is, thank you, Coach Saban.